No matter what your fitness level was before you were diagnosed with cancer, it can be really discouraging to not feel as fit and as vital as you were before your cancer treatment, whether that is chemo or radiation or some other form of therapy. But what if I told you that there is a super simple way to get back to feeling great, to be able to get back to what you love to do? Hi, I'm Lori, nationally certified personal trainer and health coach. If you haven't been here before, this is what I do for a living, and I want to help you feel good again. My sister Sherry was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer back in 2018, and she's often here to help me out with these videos, but she isn't here today. So if you want to hear her story, I will go ahead and link that above and also in the description. I know Sherry gets very discouraged when she can't do the things that she used to do before. Her targeted therapy gives her, it makes her fatigued, it gives her muscle weakness. And of course, with lung cancer, she feels short of breath, which can probably happen in any kind of cancer. So one thing that I do talk to her about, I know she really works on this hard, is consistency. And that's the first simple step to take. Is no matter what you do, the biggest thing is to be consistent. This is the truth. You are better off with a poorly thought out exercise program and doing it consistently than the most amazing training in the world and rarely doing it. The number one predictor of who is going to feel better, who is going to get fit, is those that are consistent. So the first thing that you need to do is make time every day or every other day for programmed, that's on purpose, fitness. And it's nothing that should be hard. You don't need to start out with an hour a day. You can start off as simple as something that's 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes twice a day. That's what I suggest, is just starting off with 10 minutes at a time, whether you do that once, twice, or 3 times. That's the very best way to get started, is making that commitment to consistency. Many cancer patients struggle with even basic chores, let alone trying to run a marathon, right? Or if you're younger, or chasing after your kids. So we're not going to be trying to get you to run a marathon at this point. We're trying to get you just to live, a basic life. Now, why does this happen? What happens that your fitness level tends to be dragged down, especially if it's something that you don't do a lot? Well, it's because your VO2 max, which is just really a fancy way of saying your endurance, your lungs capacity and heart capacity to get maximal oxygen into your muscles and every cell in your body. It just degrades. Now, especially if you have cancer that is metastasized to your lungs, or if you have lung cancer, you're going to have lung tissue that is diseased. So you have to maximize the healthy tissue that you do have. You have to be able to up your VO2 max. And that's normally done in a clinical setting with an exercise physiologist who measures your VO2 max. But you don't need to do any of that, because it's so much simpler than that. It's such a simple thing to improve your VO2 max. And that's getting your heart and lungs working together to get oxygen very quickly into the muscles you need to exercise. So how can you do that? Well, I'm going to have you look at this chart that I'm going to put up. This is called a chart of perceived exertion. And you'll see that it's on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being me just sitting here, and 10 being running that marathon as hard as you can. So when you first start exercising, you're going to want to be in the 4 to 6 range. Okay, the 4 to 6 range, which ranges from, moderate to a little bit hard. Whatever that means for you. That's going to mean something different for you than it is for me, than it is for Bob over here. So that's your perceived. This isn't me perceiving what you're doing. It's you thinking about what you're doing. So, for instance, a 4 A 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 means that you're starting to be breathing a little harder. As you're walking or swimming or doing biking or whatever exercise you want to do, you'll notice that your breathing becomes a little more labored. You're able to talk. It's not that you can't talk. You can talk, but you'll notice that your breathing is a little harder. And so this is what you want to work up to. You want to be in that 4 range. Then you want to work up to 5 and 6 and so on. If you're new to exercise or you have not exercised in quite some time, like before your diagnosis, you're going to want to actually start off maybe at a 3, a level 3, which is on the easy side. This is not straining your body in any way. This is getting your body used to this. So you will want to start at a 3 or a 4. And like I said, you will want to do that in 10-minute chunks. And the easiest thing to do is just to walk. You can walk outside, which is probably the best. You can use a treadmill, or YouTube is a fantastic place to find walking programs. And you do it at your own pace for 10 minutes at a time. If you feel like you can do more than 10 minutes, then do 15 minutes at a time, or 20 or 30 minutes, wherever you're at. But just remember, you only need to do 10 minutes at a time to start feeling and seeing the benefits of that. Once you've been walking at a 3 or a 4 pace for a few weeks, and now your muscles are used to it, your lungs and heart are used to doing something that's 10, 15 minutes at a time, hopefully a couple of times a day, you want to bump that up to a 5. Okay. You want to take that 3 or 4, you want to go up to a 5, which is starting to get more moderate. You will definitely feel your breathing increasing, and that's a good thing. You may even start feeling like you don't want to have a conversation, and you definitely shouldn't be able to sing. If you can sing la, 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 that means you're not working hard enough. So make sure that you're starting to really feel that breathing being a little bit labored. Now, once you've done that, once you've worked your way up to a 5, now it's time to work your way up to a 6, which would be in the hard category. This is where you're walking faster. This is where you can talk. You can certainly talk, but you're not going to feel like carrying on a very long conversation. You'll be able to talk in short bursts. And this is how you'll be talking like this. This is how you get your VO2 max up. This is how you train your heart and lungs to function better. And again, now you'll want to start doing maybe a minimum of 12 minutes at a time. 12 minutes seems to be the gold standard for getting everything going, all the enzymes going, getting the blood flowing through the system. That's where you want to be most of the time. This is the time where you can start cross-training. If you want to bike ride or go swimming or do any number of things, take a little hike, whatever you feel comfortable. If you're chair bound, that's fine too. YouTube is another gold mine to find exercising that's chair bound, that you can do in a chair. So I will definitely make a video about that, all about chair bound exercise. But if you're chair bound, you still want to feel that breathless. And you could easily do that with your arms by raising your arms up over your head, out and about. Even if you're chair bound, you still might be able to even march and use your legs. So doesn't matter if you're chair bound or not. But if you're not chair bound, this is the time to start doing some cross training into some other forms of exercise using the same scale of 1 to 10. And most of your exercise, the vast and overwhelming majority of your exercise should be in that 4 to 6 range. But what you're going to want to do if you really, really want to get your heart and lungs working at just peak function, you're going to want to take that exercise up to a level 8 or even a 9 if your doctor clears you. At this point, this would be really important to get your doctor to clear you for this kind of exercise, because you're going to feel breathless, and that's okay. It's okay to feel breathless for a minute or two at a time. And you'll want to spend a few minutes every week, not every day, every week. You'll want to have some exercise training that's done in that very, very hard where you cannot talk. You would not be able to talk to your partner who's walking with you or biking with you because you are feeling breathless. So you will do that for a certain amount of time. What I like to do is I like to warm up. I like to get in that 4 to 6 zone. And then I like to run. Now, for you, that might not be running. For some of you, it might be running or even sprinting if you get yourself into that good of shape. But you want to be able to get breathless and then back it off, go back to that 4 to 5 zone, go back up to an 8, and then cycle a few times to where you've done this for a few minutes at a time. You will find your fitness increasing dramatically at that point. So when are you able to stop? When can you stop exercising? You can't. You will lose everything that you've gained when you stop. And it only takes about 10 days before you start detraining, before your VO2 max starts going down. So this is something that's a lifetime commitment, something you will do every day or every other day. Now, cancer research has shown that exercise is one of the best tools for living longer and living better. The studies show, research has shown, and I will link this in the description for you to see several studies, that people that have cancer, even advanced cancer, live much longer and they live much better than those in the lowest fitness level. So this is something that's so critical to you or your partner who's ever been diagnosed with cancer. But there is good news. Once you reach the fitness level that gives you the lifestyle that you want, where you can do your chores easily, or you can be with your kids or your grandkids and not feel worn out, once you reach that level, maintenance is so much easier than obtaining it. At that point, it really is a matter of consistency only. You don't have to keep going up the charts to number 10. That is not the important thing at all. I certainly do not work at a 10. I very rarely work at a 10. And to be honest with you, I dread working at those 8 and 9 levels. But I know I have to do it. Even though I'm not the one with cancer, you don't ever know. I don't ever know. I don't have cancer today. That doesn't mean I won't have it tomorrow. So I keep training every day so that if something does happen, I know it's easier to maintain, far easier. So that's the great news. Now, if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.